It was one of the best games of the year, and we have a shocking 0-2 team. I'm Mike Yam, and here's what we learned in Week 2.
Wow. Never a doubt. On to overtime. Wow.
What a game it was. The Cowboys handled business in a shootout that featured 6 lead changes in the fourth quarter and overtime. Dak Prescott, he throws for 361 and 2 touchdowns. Maybe the best kicker on the planet, Brandon Aubrey, made a 64-yard game-tying field goal as time expired in regulation to force overtime. He'd eventually kick a game winner too. Now, the guy said after the matchup that his range is 70 to 71 yards, and that feels so believable.
Wow. Never a doubt.
Russell Wilson, he quieted some of those benching calls. This is a throwback. 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, vintage Russ cooking. Hit Malik Neighbors, Wan'Dale Robinson on some explosive deep strikes that gave the Giants a late lead. Now, Wilson's overtime interception, though, that set up Dallas's win, but he showed he could still play at a high level. With the league's toughest schedule, this is a game Giants fans are going to look back at all season and ask themselves, what if? In a Super Bowl rematch, the Eagles outmuscled the Chiefs in a defensive slugfest. Season control, Andrew Makuba's interception, and Jalen Hurts' clutch third down throw set up a tush-push touchdown. Philly's physicality and cleaner play was the difference in Arrowhead.
Shoving his way in. He's in!
Travis Kelce's goal line drop that turned into that interception swung the game, and it really epitomized the Chiefs' offensive struggles. Patrick Mahomes, he scrambled well early and connected with Tyquan Thornton for that late touchdown, but we're talking about missed chances and a lack of reliable weapons, which leaves Kansas City 0-2 for the first time in the Mahomes era. Now, the defense, it showed some progress, but that offense, it looks out of sync. Well, let's start with the good. Jake Browning overcame 3 interceptions to lead a 92-yard game-winning drive in the fourth quarter that concluded with the backup quarterback breaking the plane on a QB sneak for the game-winning score. We also got a monster game from Jamar Chase, who had his 8th career game with at least 150 yards receiving and a touchdown. It was a gritty comeback win, and they're 2-0 for the first time since 2018.
Jamar Chase gritties, touchdown Bengals.
Here's the bad. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport says it's feared Joe Burrow suffered a grade 3 turf toe injury. That's going to put him out 3 months. The guy can't catch a break. We'll see what Cincy's made of over the next few weeks. The Jags offense clicked most of the day, scoring on 5 of their first 7 drives, but penalties, turnovers, and 2 costly drops kept the game close. Trevor Lawrence threw for 271 and 3 touchdowns, while the run game averaged 5.1 yards per carry, but those missed opportunities proved costly late as Jacksonville falls to Cincinnati 31-27. Daniel Jones impressed again in Week 2, 316 yards and a touchdown, showing exactly why he was chosen as the Colts starter. Jonathan Taylor, that was an explosive 68-yard run, highlighted a balanced offense and fueled a comeback win. Your rookie, Tyler Warren, led the Colts 79 receiving yards. It's significant because he falls just 1 receiving yard shy of Brock Bowers' NFL tight end record of 156 yards through the first 2 career games. The guy looks to be a monster, and Indianapolis looks to be a real contender in the AFC South.
15-yard move by the rookie tight end out of Penn State.
Bo Nix and the Broncos looked to control after multiple red zone touchdowns and a strong third quarter drive, but a fourth quarter interception shifted momentum to Indianapolis. Costly penalties and a missed field goal all squandered away a late chance for a win. It was a roller coaster of emotions for the Patriots. Antonio Gibson's 90-yard kickoff return and Andres Borregales' late 53-yard field goal secured the Patriots' first victory of the season. Now, despite some shaky defense early, New England's fourth quarter surge, capped by Marte Mapu's interception and 2 sacks, were able to close out Miami.
Intercepted on the play by Mapu!
Tua Tagovailoa threw for 315 yards and 2 touchdowns, with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Devon Achane helped fuel Miami's explosive offense, but that late pick and poor pass protection doomed the Dolphins quarterback. The silver lining in a winless start, the offense had showed some signs of life. Even without starting quarterback Devon Witherspoon, who was sidelined with an injury, Seattle's defense stepped up in a big way on Sunday. The Seahawks, they held the Steelers to just 64 first-half yards and overcame 2 turnovers. So credit Mike McDonald. His unit, they showed up big defensively, and they avoid an 0-2 start.
What an impressive 60-minute effort from Seattle today.
Well, the Steelers, already depleted by injuries, gave up over 30 points for the second straight week. The Seahawks, they ran through that defense offense with ease. Now, despite 2 interceptions, Pittsburgh's secondary, it struggled. Promising unit has already matched last season's total 30-point games with a 31-17 loss. Aaron Rodgers looked human again with 2 picks. Tennessee led 13-10 at halftime after Matthew Stafford's interception, but the Rams, they bounced back to dominate the second half. They scored on 4 of their first 5 possessions before running out the clock. Stafford nearly flawless after the break, completing 14-17 passes for 191 yards, 2 touchdowns, including 1 to Devontae Adams to make it a 2-score game in the fourth. When this team is healthy, they're one of the scariest in the league.
Stafford hits him in stride for the score.
Rookie Cam Ward energized the Titans early with 3 scoring drives and an incredible touchdown for a halftime lead, but the offense, it collapsed after the break. Ward, he struggled under pressure, completing only 9 of 16 passes for 52 yards. He also took 3 sacks. There was a ton of heavy duress against a very strong Rams defense. 33-19, the final. Well, Mac Jones, he really settled in after a shaky start, throwing for 279 yards and 3 touchdowns, looking comfortable in Kyle Shanahan's system. He tends to do that for his quarterbacks. Though he still had the ball a little bit too long at times, Jones, he showed he can run the Niners offense and keep them afloat while Brock Purdy is out with that turf toe.
For a San Francisco touchdown!
A Spencer Rattler flashed playmaking ability while completing 73.5% of his 34 pass attempts, keeping the Saints competitive. We got some inconsistency and some drops, though, that really held this offense back. Despite falling to 0-2 after an Alvin Kamara fumble proved costly, New Orleans has battled hard and have shown maybe they won't be a layup for their opponents this season. The Cardinals jumped out to a 27-3 lead thanks to some early takeaways, including Josh Sweat, that strip stack return for a touchdown, and a Baron Browning interception. But Carolina stormed back with 3 touchdowns and an onside kick recovery. But that OG vet, Calais Campbell's late sack sealed the win. Despite injuries in the secondary, Arizona's defense did enough to secure a 2-0 start.
And it's Calais Campbell turning out the lights.
Bryce Young's early turnovers dug a deep hole, gifting Arizona a big first-quarter lead. He later settled in, threw for 328 and 3 touchdowns while fueling 19 straight points with sharper decision-making. Still, though, his costly mistakes remain a major hurdle for the Panthers, a team that really can't afford them. I think fans of Carolina just want to see some consistency. Well, welcome back, Lions. After a rough outing in Green Bay, Detroit bounced back with an explosive offensive performance, highlighted by Jared Goff's 334 yards and 5 touchdowns against this Bears defense. Now, the Lions, they dominated. He had sharp play action, strong run game, and that unstoppable combination of Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. This reassures fans that high-powered offense is still very much one of the best in the league. After 2 games, I think most of us are actually wondering what the ceiling is for the Packers based off of the results against this Lions squad.
His 3rd touchdown today, and there he goes.
Right into the leap zone.
Caleb Williams showed flashes early with a strong opening drive, but inconsistency, ill-advised throws, and turnovers, that quickly derailed the Bears' offense in a blowout loss. As protection broke down, the growing pains continue for Ben Johnson in game number 2. Chicago 0-2 in demoralizing fashion, dashing offseason optimism. The Bears fall to the Lions 52-21. Josh Allen and the Bills, they came to life at MetLife Stadium and they shut down the Jets with ease. Allen had that 40-yard scramble on the first drive. James Cook, he ran for 132 and 2 touchdowns. Even when the Bills were bloodied, literally, they were never even close to being beaten. Allen missed just 2 plays in that first half after a significant bleeding from his nose.
Trying to quell that bleeding, they finally added some cotton, as you saw, into that nostril.
The Jets are a little bit of an enigma. Week 1, encouragement around their offense gives us more questions than answers in Week 2. Justin Fields and the Jets offense lifeless, averaging just 3.3 yards per play. Breece Hall held to just 29 yards on 10 carries, and Fields, he was held at bay with 49 rushing yards. The Bills, they cruise 30-10. Atlanta's defense stole the spotlight. The rookies delivered. Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr., Billy Bowman Jr., and Xavier Watts all making huge impact plays. Now, the pass rush, it overwhelmed J.J. McCarthy, piling up 6 sacks, 11 quarterback hits, and 16 pressures, while holding Minnesota to just 198 yards of offense. This is not the defense we've seen in the ATL the last couple of years. Outside of Bijan Robinson, the Falcons' offense, it sputtered at times. It was the defense that carried them.
And that throw is intercepted by Billy Bowman Jr.
What a week for J.J. McCarthy. Week 1, you got Monday night, comeback heroics, and then Sunday hit with the reminder of growing pains. He had 158 yards, 2 interceptions in a rough outing. Poor protection no doubt played a role, but his accuracy and shaky decision-making showed how quickly fortunes can flip in the NFL. The Ravens rebounded from their Week 1 collapse by dominating the Browns, capitalizing on a blocked punt and big plays from Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, and DeAndre Hopkins. Now, despite just 242 total yards of offense, Baltimore's complimentary football produced 41 points, and they look like a true contender. This is what we expected to see from one of the best rosters in the NFL.
DeAndre Hopkins has got it!
Cleveland's offense looked lifeless in week number 2. Joe Flacco's lack of mobility led to turnovers and squandered opportunities. Despite a strong defensive effort, we did see rookie Dylan Gabriel flash late in garbage time. If the Browns' offensive struggles persist like this, Kevin Stefanski may be forced to reconsider his starting quarterback choice. The most talked about quarterback room this offseason gives us a little more fodder for talk radio.